about Bitcoin mining. I'm going to show the math on how mining Bitcoin with your surplus solar, you make more money from the mining Bitcoin than you do from the utility company buying your surplus back from you. And so it's called net surplus compensation rate. And so if you just Google net surplus compensation rate, Southern California Edison is where I'm located. So net surplus compensation rate, and then they just show you month by month. So you can see 3.9 cents, 3.7 cents, 3.6 cents, 3.5 cents. So I'm kind of just using this 3.5 cents number. You can you see it was lower here. I think if you scroll back, it might have gotten to 4. Yeah, 4. So anywhere from 2.5 to 4.5, I guess, on the way high side, but we'll use 3.5 as just kind of the number to beat. So I also want to show that you can do this just with old generation ASICs. So like even old generation's ASICs pencil better than the net compensation rate that the utility company is offering. So for today, we're just going to use an Antminer S9. It's 13 terahash. What I am going to do is I wanted to tell you guys about, so Brains OS is a firmware that you can load onto the miner that upgrades its performance without adding more power usage. And so I'm going to bump this up to 16 terahash using the Brains OS. And so Brains mining calculator is one of the best that there is. And so yeah, just type in Brains mining calculator and you'll get here. It doesn't have down to like the day profitability, so I've got the calculator pulled up and we're going to do that manually, but here's what you do. So I just dialed it down to 6 months. That's the lowest kind of future projection they'll let you do. It brings in the current price of Bitcoin, the current exchange rate for fiat. So that's another thing too. Currently, the numbers I'm going to show you are going to be just beating it in fiat, and we'll have to do another video that calculates, that kind of factors in the average number go up of Bitcoin, because the sats that you're physically earning are better than the pennies that the utility company is offering. Like, it's physically a better currency. And so, but for this video, we'll dial it all down and do it in fiat, just to prove that it works on paper with fiat. So, okay, so that brings in the current price, brings in the current network difficulty. Like I said, we're going to do 16 terahashes, which is how much mining power this one old generation machine has. It uses 1,300 watts, as you can find right here at asicminervalue.com. This is just the simplest website that gives you the most general specs. So Antminer S9, 1,300 watts. So type in the 1,300 watts. Current block subsidy is 6.25. This right here, there's about 8 million sats average in transaction fees per block right now. I've got that from, I'll show you guys this right here. You want to go to this website, Clark Moody Dashboard, to get the mining stats. And so, see if I can, I'm on a little bit of a shrunk screen, but yeah, if you go here, yeah, it's not on the screen right now, unfortunately, and I can't expand right now. But if you go there, it'll show you that the average transaction fees per Bitcoin block are about 8 million sats. So I threw those in, and then I just, for simplicity's sake, I just took off and said the power was 0, because I just want to know how many kind of sats per hour these, like the S9 is making, so that we can calculate how much we get for mining Bitcoin versus, again, that net surplus compensation rate we're trying to beat. So $520. This is 1.400,000 sats, so 0.014 Bitcoin is how much you would make if the Antminer was running full time for 6 months. So now we're gonna have to go do the math over here. So full time for 6 months. So like I said, here's the sats. Yeah, so there's 1.4 million sats. We're gonna divide that by 180 days, the 6 months. So you make about 7,777 sats a day. Again, that's if it's on all day, okay? So then we're going to divide that by 24. So it makes about 324 sats an hour. So we'll write that down, 324 sats an hour. While it's on. And then one thing we have to calculate for here is I'm doing, so watts to kilowatt hour, because your electricity rate is charged in kilowatt hours. So for every hour that the Antminer is on, you type in 1,300 watts, and then 1 hour that it's on, it uses 1.3 kilowatts, okay? So every 1.3 kilowatts gets you that 324 sats, okay? So you wrote down those numbers. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the calculator, And again, so for this example, let's say at the end of the entire year, you had 1,000 kilowatt hour surplus, okay? 1,000 kilowatt hour, or whatever time period. It doesn't even have to be a year. So suppose 1,000 kilowatt hour surplus, okay? So if we were to sell back to Southern California Edison, we're going to times that by 0.035, okay? So we'll get 35 bucks. So Edison will pay us 35 bucks. What you have to do over here is, so right there, I typed in the 324 sats, and the current price today, 324 sats is about 12 cents. But then we have to correct for this. So we would do, so remember, we have 1,000 hours of surplus. We're going to divide that by the 1.3 kilowatt hours that it takes to run the miner for 1 hour. We get this. So 769 kilowatt hours. We're going to times that by the 0.12 that we get for those 324 sats. And you're at 92 bucks. So again, this is just the fiat math. We'll do another video on what it looks like if you hold those 324 sats, and this will be changing up and down all the time because of the way that the Bitcoin difficulty goes, but this directionally gets us there, that showing that the utility company is paying below market, below free market for the net surplus compensation rate.